Oh man, it was a nice little false start there. That was the good stuff. I like when we start these shows with the
Without it
utmost of
fucking up.
quality. Yeah. Welcome to episode number 2, everybody. It is myself, Mr. Steve Tom Sawyer, and I'm joined by the one and only Tulso.
Yo,
How are you, my good sir?
it's been a day.
Has it? Tell me all about it. Literally, tell me all
not,
about it.
not all the world's coffee and death metal could make up for the shit day that I had.
I mean, there's
I
always
spent,
capital murder.
well, sometimes.
Sure.
It scratches the itch sometimes. I spent all day at a fucking distillery and left without a single drop touching my lips.
I mean, now that's the crime, really. I mean,
Yeah.
who cares about the in and outs and the particulars of the actual work done there? I feel like if you do something in a place that either makes or serves alcohol and they give you none of it, then a transgression has been wrought upon you, sir.
Yeah, I should go back and burn their building down.
I would, except probably
After
don't do that.
I...
Think there's some legal ramifications involved with burning down a building. I'm not
Don't
sure.
condone arson, but sometimes, you just gotta.
I mean, All right, I'm gonna retweet all these goofy things here. If you're listening back and you're like, what? Where can I see these tweets? Well, do yourself a favor and go back in time and look on Twitter at exactly 4:09 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Anyway, we're back here to talk at you and with you about the metal. And I think a lot has happened since last week, but I'm not too sure. I guess we'll just take it from the top, like we have on the first episode, and we'll start with
Yeah.
what are you listening to / what should everyone else listen to?
Well, while perusing Bandcamp as I do on a daily basis, I stumbled across 2 new albums. One by a band called Inanimate Existence. The album is Underneath a Melting Sky. The album cover is pretty fucking awesome. The dude is tripping some horrible balls. The album is a lot of instrumentals and a lot of good, precise death metal. And that is what I like.
It is. It's some super technical ass shit. The funny thing is that I was like, are you starting to get into tech stuff there, boyo?
Picking it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I think so. So I was like, I think you should definitely try to listen to that Monotheist because, yeah.
Yeah, and I was listening to that as well. That's not necessarily a new thing. I've checked it out before, but Scourge is pretty damn good.
It is. I'm telling you,
a
dude.
lot.
The second half is probably better
Yes.
than the first half.
There's that whole 3-minute long rant in, I think it's The Great Chain in the Neck of the Earth. The guy just talks for a while.
Yeah, I mean, if that's not your thing, then it's not your thing. I thought it was pretty great because I'm stupid. But
Well documented.
Yeah, that's true. Here I'm going to commend the lead guitarist of Inferi on his vinyl choice, as he just posted a picture of his Blood Music press of Beyond Creation's The Aura.
Oh, fantastic.
So yeah, you know what? In fact, here I'm going to send you a quick little something. Anything else? Is that all you've been scoping out?
I also was listening to a band called Dark Matter Secret. They have an album called Perfect World Creation. It is a fully instrumental band. Album is 8 tracks long, and it's a damn good experience. A lot of 5+ minute long songs.
Drop some links in the chat for the people here, so
I
that they
need to
can
find the YouTube ones because
scope it out as well.
after I reconnect my keyboard because I hit the wrong fucking macro again.
Uh-oh. All instrumental, eh?
Yeah.
That would have come in handy earlier today. I was listening to some instrumental jams my own self. But I ended up
Yeah.
just going back to this. There was this like instrumental gent project or band or I don't know what it is.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's called Beyond Infinity, I believe.
Okay.
Let me scope it out. I was listening to this today. It's not something I've been jamming like all all week by any means, but it's pretty dope for what it is. Here, a little clip of that just played. Already kicked off of YouTube. Here, I'll post it into Metal Wolf on here. Yeah, it's what I posted in there earlier today. If you want to throw that into Twitch for the peoples. And remember, everybody, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can use that handy little link there on the bottom to jump into our Discord and then click on the Metal Wolf channel and you can chat metal with us. Not even just now, but all the time around the metal clock. But yeah, Beyond
Let's see.
Infinities, it's.
And it's in there.
Yeah, like I said, it's not something I'm like listening to all the time, but yeah. Um, I guess I already started that, so I'll just keep going from there. I too have been listening to Inanimate Existence, and that's because of you, sir.
Yeah.
Um, I like Tech
I
Death a
actually
lot.
I actually picked up the last pressing they had, which, if I am correct, has not shipped out yet.
They still have some on Artisan Era.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it. I was like, fuck. But man, dude, I can't. I've I've picked up too many things already. Like today, speaking of vinyl pickups, my copy of Virvum showed up
Nice.
on glorious transparent blue. So as soon as this fucking podcast is over, I am throwing that on the record player and jamming the fuck out.
Word.
Um, but I've been listening to that Inanimate record. It's really good. I really like Tech Death a lot though, so it was a no-brainer for me. I really enjoy it. And then some other stuff I've been checking out. That's the sound of some Facebook stuff bonking there going
Jesus
on there.
Christ. I need to hook up my other speakers and stuff and set them up in the window with a with a hair trigger like play button, because there's a school bus sitting outside my apartment and it's full of, like, I guess cheerleaders or something, and they're singing "Party in the USA," and I just want to crank up the heaviest shit I have.
Well,
All the
man.
windows down in the bus.
Yeah.
I can hear it over the music I have playing and you talking.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I've been listening to Revenant a lot more. Last week when I had picked up, when I had kind of just got the album, I hadn't had a chance to really like listen to it as much. So
Hmm.
I've finally like been sitting down and listening to a hell of a lot of Revenant,
Nice.
and yeah, man, there's a lot to digest there, cause like, man, Malcolm, I don't know how to say his last name, so I'm not gonna try. But the lead guitarist Malcolm, he knows how to shove a lot of notes into a small space.
Nice.
So there's a lot to like deconstruct when you're listening to that record, and just a lot of really cool, grand, sweeping, like epic moments packed into it. Um, I think the cool thing is too, like it slows down enough, um, like about halfway through, that it feels logical, but it never goes so slow that you feel like it's trying to be like theatrical or dramatic in
Hmm.
that kind of a way. It just gives you enough pause to take a breath. But the momentum that the record keeps up is absolutely ridiculous. And then by the time you get to
Nice.
the end, really nice closing song, that's "Behold the Bearer of Light." And yeah, I talked about it a little bit last week, but I've still been, jamming through that and digesting that, and can't say enough good stuff about it. And then I went back to my Fallujah records a lot this last week. Um, Fallujah is my probably my one of my favorite death metal bands, like right
I would
now.
hope so. You got like 13 shirts.
Yes, I do, and all of their records. It is not a secret that I've bought a lot of Fallujah stuff.
That Uncle
Um,
Sam and Grizzly Bear one's my favorite.
dude, he is fucking Uncle Sam right the fuck up, dude. He is like, I have had enough of your shit, and I'm going to spear you with a California flag. He is just fucking absolutely done with Uncle Sam and his bullshit. Um, but yeah, I've just been going back to my Fallujah records and appreciating those. And then, there's some new shit that came out. There's new Obscura, and I was checking that out. And that's good to the point where I almost thought about embarking on the journey of investing in their records.
Hmm.
And then I saw the path of iniquity and sin that was gonna lead me on, aka being broke as fucking shit. And I was just like, I can't, dude. I actually like absolutely can't. So that's uh that's where I kind of drew the line financially this last week too. But really cool song. If you guys haven't had a chance, you should check out the new song from Obscure. I think it's called Diluvium.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I saw that.
yeah, it's hella cool. There's a lot going on, a lot of notes packed in there. Obscura, if you guys haven't checked them out before, is definitely one of the better bands when it comes to progressive death metal and tech death. And I don't think that there's any disputing that this record is probably going to be pretty good if the new song is any indication. Thing is like I didn't, there's only so much you can get into or so many bands you can remember, and like somehow Obscura was just one of these bands that just completely flew under my radar. So,
Huh.
I checked out the new song and I was like, fuck, am I stupid? Like, like how much of this is really good? And I've been listening to Acroasis, I think is how you say it. It's one of their older records, and yeah, there's some good stuff going on there. So I
Yeah, this
may
sounds
have,
pretty good.
yeah, I may have missed the boat on Obscura in a really stupid way, but I'm getting into them now, and for sure it's gonna be something that I think is gonna inevitably end up with me losing money at some point.
Yeah,
I'm
I
looking
mean,
forward to it.
just looking at their albums, the covers look pretty dope. Uh, the music sounds like it backs it up pretty well.
Yeah, they're hella cool. But I mean, at the same time, like, I've got Black Dahlia Murder represses on the way. I just got, Virvum, and Monotheist, and there's just, it's like if I bought more records now, I'd have to buy like another crate, and like,
Yeah,
I'm getting to the point where
it's borderline here.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I
Yeah,
can't stop, but I can't keep doing it. You know?
I've started kind of like wishy-washing on that stuff, and maybe CDs.
Yeah,
Doesn't take
no,
up as much space,
I can't go back. I can't go
especially the
back to
ones that like,
CDs.
especially the ones that are sold out and going for $80.
Yeah, no, I don't get that. The records I do because they're huge and the art is so vibrant and cool and the
That's what I
records are
mean.
super cool. Yeah, oh dude, I
The
already
fucking record's
have.
going for $80.
Oh yeah, no, Oh, the Obscura ones?
No, 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 just albums in general.
Oh, okay. Dude,
Like,
no,
if
I
it's one of those
saw.
situations where
I
there's
was
a
about to
scalper
say that's
potential, I'll go
cheap.
back to CDs.
Dude, some of the Obscura vinyls that I was looking at were $230 like a
Jesus
piece, dude.
Christ.
Yeah, like it's fucked up out there, man.
I could buy the
It's
blackening twice for that.
just hold out hope for a repress, like on anything that's that expensive at that point. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can't
Rob's
do
not going to repress that, though. He hates everybody now.
it. What's up, chat? Seeing all the messages and catching up. Yeah, dudes, like
Got
I
more
don't
spin-offs.
more spin-offs. I appreciate the show ideas. Keep them coming. Yeah, those are the vinyls I grabbed, and the represses I grabbed were Everblack and Unhallowed. So I'm looking forward to getting that stuff in. But that's really all I've
Jesus.
been listening to. Um,
This song hit a good spot.
the Diluvium one.
Diluvium?
I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
like 3.5 minutes in, just like, wow.
it's a beast. It's a beast. I simply cannot, and that's the problem. If I get that, if I pre-order that, it's a slippery slope, right?
Yeah.
Because then it starts. I can't have just the one. Then I'm like, I gotta get a couple of their other records.
What kind of idiot am I just getting one record?
What am I gonna do? Just get the one. Because that's what happened with Inferi, dude. Like they only have one other record that came out on vinyl, and that was Path of Apotheosis. And I was like, well, shit, dude. I was looking on Discogs, and like it's never even been sold. So that's when I'm like, man, that's gonna be fucked up. You know, when you find somebody, it's gonna be like $150 or some fucked shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God they they repressed that shit, and I got the one of the 100 of the Promethean one.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It starts like that. The only reason I was like, oh, I gotta get Path of Apotheosis now is because I got Revenant.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, well, I gotta get the other one now. It just makes perfect sense.
Hmm.
Just throw money into the garbage disposal of sound.
Apparently, a band I uh, dug pretty much or pretty well in the early 2010s. Christian. Uh, Names are hard. They're coming out with a new album in September. That's gonna be great.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, these guys. Wrong chat. These guys.
Dorcas. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Assassination. Good album.
yeah. So, wait a minute. What was the connection here? Because I'm dumb.
Don't know.
Oh, all right,
I was scrolling through looking at news and stuff
all right. And you're
because I
just
didn't do
like,
this ahead of time.
you're like, these guys were cool. I feel you. Um, I mean, if you want to just start jumping into that, like, there's so many silly things to start trying to talk about when it comes to news and heavy music. I mean, how much do you want to jump into goofiness? Like head first or toe, like dip a toe in?
Um, let's go full stupid. Why not?
All right, so I will try to be more gentle, I think, than Tulso.
So we're going that route. Okay.
I mean, I guess I don't really know like how to preface it. It's you know, it's not like we're
Preface it with the
talking.
fact that this may go somewhere else
All
next
right,
week.
okay. You should. I mean, if you want to lead it, go ahead, and then I'll just comment after you, and share my
Uh,
thoughts.
so last week we spoke a little bit
Hmm.
of a group called Core 10,
Hmm.
um, which their big claim to fame is the fact that they have the original drummer from Korn.
Yep.
Um, they have two lead singers, one of which wears socks on his arms, and a hoodie, and their music's kind of terrible. But they want you to have an open mind about their music and how terrible it is. That's
That.
about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find like a softer way to express my thoughts on it, which is that I think what they're trying to do is make music from a specific time, right?
Yeah,
Music that would appeal to fans of Korn and Static X and Edema and
it doesn't work.
those sorts of
That's like my
bands.
bread and butter right there. Like, Corn and uh, Edema was okay,
Mm.
but like it just doesn't. No.
I mean,
It's bad.
like let me express my thought here as best and as eloquently as I can. Like I get the audience they're trying to go after, right?
Uh,
I get that they're trying to like corner people who would listen to, like I said, Edema, Static X, Corn, um, dude, even like fucking Videodrome, like those kinds of bands, just straight up new metal, like flashback sound. Um, but like at the same time, I don't, and this is me trying to be as sincere about it as possible, and
mm,
fully and totally accepting the possibility that like I would even want these dudes to hear this personally, right? If that's the music that you're gonna make, you have to accept and understand that heavy music, like by a lot of defaults, attracts a young audience in a lot of cases and in a lot of ways. Just because of the fucking rebellious nature of it and just how fucking anti-establishment and anti-authority all that shit is. There's a lot of
mm.
young people that like listening to fucking heavy music. And that's not to say that some dumb 34-year-old douchebag like me can't enjoy, death metal to its fullest extent. But that's also to say that like I think that there's an audience that doesn't know that sound as modern heavy music. Like, you know what I mean? They've
Yeah,
not that's not like the heavy music that they want to listen to or that they're like digging. And then on another level, even if for me, like I don't like or appreciate, you know, a band or some kind of music, like, I don't go out of my way anymore to just fucking trash a band and be like, oh, these guys
no,
are fucking
if I don't
whatever,
like it,
blah,
I'm not
blah,
gonna
blah.
listen to it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if they have an audience that digs what they're doing, then that's all that they should really fucking give a shit about, like, on their end.
Exactly.
But on the other end, like, if they're, upset that the metal community, the heavy music community, and the death metal community aren't, like, fully 100% embracing them, I would say go and listen to Virvum. Go and listen to Wormed. Go and listen to like any of this really like avant-garde, like extreme death metal that more people that are plugged into
Hmm.
the scene are listening to, because that's when you'll understand like there's stuff out there that is just blowing people's minds, and in
Yeah,
comparison, you're doing something that's
people to blow
from
their brains out.
well, I mean, we just heard a lot of it, I think. Limp
Yeah,
Biscuit, Corn, all those dudes took all of those sounds to the fucking max, and to like all the logical places I think all of that could go. To say that they could do something new, like in new metal, I don't know. That that'd be quite a feat. And I don't even know of any modern new metal bands like, other than, them. I couldn't even say like, oh yeah, this is a band that's totally fucking new metal with rap and rock and all that shit. Like,
yeah.
do you? Hacktivist maybe, but they're like gent new metal and they're terrible.
I to me
Okay,
that
let me
band
let
comes
me
down to
let me rephrase that like already going back on my policy there. It's not music that I personally care for. They might be
right.
very, very talented, and that's just what they choose
Eh,
to play, and my ears just don't agree with it. But I
I think
personally, not a fan. You should check them out, Tulsa, and determine if they are actually new metal.
Corten.
No, hacktivist.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, because, yeah, like I said, everyone is entitled to like whatever it is that they want, and I am entitled to not like that. And I personally just don't care for that music. Just like I don't know about all that.
I 30 seconds in, it sure looks like it. it's a bit new metal-y, but like with a like you said with a genty background to it.
Yeah, it's not great.
No, I
That's a,
mean I might I might listen to it a little more than Core 10 because it's not two guys trying to sing at once. It's them taking turns.
go on.
I can't take I can't fucking. It's two very different voices in Core 10 going back and forth. If it
Th-
was just the one, and I'm not sure who's the one, it might
throw
be okay.
the hacktivist song in chat so people
I
understand
was
that
listening
reference point.
to Elevate, which came from 2013.
Yeah, all right. I know exactly what song that is.
Yeah, I mean it
Yeah.
opens up genty as hell.
Right. I mean, and that's where I like kind of have hope, because gent is not a thing that I'll just completely be like, all right, I'm done. Immediately, I have a soft spot for that shit. I know a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of people don't, because they're like, it's. I saw this one dude. I think it was Bren, and he was just like, gent is the dubstep of metal, and you know it. And I was like, maybe.
He's not wrong, but
I mean, maybe. But hey, like I said, I have a soft spot for that shit. It's
yeah,
just heavy enough, and there's some of it that's really groovy, like Tesseract,
yeah.
and
I'm a big
Monuments.
like bass groovy guy.
Yeah, dude, they've got some fucking bass chops on both those bands, so I don't mind
Mhm.
listening to those guys, and I don't feel like dirty. I'm not like, oh, I'm fucking listening to fucking cheese metal. No, it's pretty, but that's the thing. They lure you in with that false sense of security, goddamn hacktivist, and then it just kicks in with the fucking rapping, and you're like,
Yeah, and they
what
open their
has
mouth and just like.
yeah, and you're like, what has happened here? What is going on?
I mean, the bands are themselves, not bad. I quite enjoy, Core 10 if they're not singing, and Hacktivist is pretty great too, as long as they're not rapping. But
Look,
instrumental albums are
the
harder to
keyboard
come
player
by
threw me off. I'm not gonna lie.
in Core 10.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, look, I listen to a lot of things that have keyboards in them and orchestras and stuff like that. So I'm
this
not,
is one thing that does not need it.
I mean, it could. I just don't know that. Look, again, even if I don't want to listen to something or if I don't get
Mhm.
it, that doesn't always mean that it's for me.
Yeah,
So I'm just trying to accept any and all possibilities here and be like, well, maybe it just, is another one of these things where it's just not for me,
yeah.
right? But like
There's
at the same
hundreds of
time,
releases every day.
yeah, like, but like I said, at the same time, excuse me, wow, that snuck up on me. If the band is trying to take a sort of, and I think they are, a kind of a proactive stance on it, and I don't think it's completely reactionary, but I think it's kind of reactionary. Is where they're commenting and saying, "Look, we hear you online and we hear what you're saying, but we're not going to change who we are." I think that that's cool. That obviously demonstrates a lot of integrity and commitment to what you're doing. But then, accept the possibility that there are just some metal communities that are not going to come around, right?
Yeah,
If you're a more, adult oriented hard rock band, then accept that. The people
yeah,
who were listening to Static X, like, and were super into it, are like my age, or a few
yeah.
years older than me. The people who were listening to Disturbed and Korn and all of that stuff and are like, I'm into death metal, and they have a Disturbed t-shirt on. Those people are, those people are, my
Probably
age
about
or a
my
few
age.
years older. Yeah, exactly. They're like 34 to 40, right? And those people, I think, would be a little bit more receptive to that kind of music still,
Yeah.
today, or have at least a softer spot for it. Because at that point, right, that's an underserved community, right?
Hmm.
The new metal community in 2018, I don't think they're getting a whole lot of hits these
No, there's not a
days.
lot of releases in their category.
No, so they're probably hungry for cool new stuff. And I think between Core 10, Machine Head, Mushroom Head, and
Ugh.
yeah, and that's I know, and I know, I know.
Never forget that dude.
I mean,
I don't think I talked about it on the show. I saw a guy driving down the street in a minivan with mushroom head stickers on it. He had a mushroom head, like the logo tattooed on his neck, like driving the daddiest van ever. Yeah.
it's always those dudes that listen to that band.
Can't let it go.
I don't understand how they actually got legitimately big for a second. That's the part
I
where I'm always like, how did that happen?
maybe riding on the Slipknot tail, I guess.
Because I
Except their
mean,
masks were a little better.
yeah, I think like 1,000% of their, like focus was, like maybe they had a team meeting one day, and the lead guitar player's like, so let's talk about writing songs. And lead singer's like sitting there, like staring into this fucking cool ass mask he made. He's like, shut the fuck up a second and listen to this. It's like, how about instead of doing that dumb shit, we put a bunch of our effort into making really, really sick looking masks? He goes, well, isn't like Slipknot already? He's like, shut up. The other thing is too, I think that they came around before Slipknot. I think there's this big bone of
Yeah.
contention, right? But the one thing I will say to this day, and the one thing I said then,
Hmm.
is if you listen to Slipknot's first like label debut album
Hmm.
compared to Mushroom Heads, I think you understand immediately. Like,
Like self-titled.
yeah, or
Okay.
well, no, not it's it's not self-titled. It's got a weird string of numbers is actually the title.
Oh.
Yeah, but the red
Shit.
one, the one before Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called self-titled, but it's actually not. I know,
Yeah.
it's dumb. But yeah, that record. I mean, dude, I unashamedly will say to this day, like I fucking love that record in Iowa. So
Oh yeah. I found that in a record store for like 15 bucks and picked it up.
yeah, dude, it's just I remember being a young man then, and listening to that and just being like, this is fucking excellent.
Yeah.
It actually kept up with shit like Slayer and some of those other heavier bands, and then they had like new metal elements in some of the songs. They used to
Especially the
make
first album.
yeah, dude, they used to make very different music. Like by the third and fourth records, they were transitioning into the direction
More
that they're
rock
in
metal.
now. Yeah, but those first three records, um, there's still some blast beats in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, some good stuff. But Mushroom Head, I don't know, man. You go back and listen to their back catalog, and I'm like, I don't know how this was ever a thing. Got to be real with you. And like that's a band where I have a hard time being nice about it either, because I saw them live once, and I was just like,
Oh boy.
this is just not my fucking shit, dude. I'm having a bad
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
There's one song by them I will listen to uh anytime it comes on. It's Sun Doesn't Rise. Probably like their biggest song.
yeah.
I mean, that's a damn good song. I'll listen to that one. Um,
I mean, again, somebody's got to enjoy this stuff,
yeah.
and that's not my job, so I don't care. But otherwise, yeah, no, I don't know. I think bands like that, like when it's just mostly like there's like this huge visual component to it. It almost makes me skeptical, like immediately. That's why years, ago, I didn't get into Septic Flush right away because they are a very theatrical band.
Hmm.
And then one day I stopped being fucking stupid and listen to that. I think it was either I think it was Communion. Um, and I was just like, oh, they're like Dimmu Borgir, but they're better. I see. I got it. And you know what? I have no problem letting that be our segue into that conversation, I guess.
All right.
Mm. Have you heard Eonian?
No, I have not. I kind of fell off Demu pretty hard a couple years ago.
So it's their first record in forever. Um, and I know that there's a lot of Dimmu Borgir fans who don't give a shit what my opinion is one way or the other.
They'll listen to it either way.
Yeah, man, this podcast has turned into just all the shit I don't like. Fuck. Spoiler alert, I'm not a big fan of the record. It's not that good. I
No,
listened to it and I mean, even like the go ahead and throw that single on, Mr. Tulso, if you're not
let's
already.
see. Interdimensional Summit.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Oh, god damn it.
Yeah, dude.
I pasted when I wanted to copy. What a dumbass. And see, I can't think of I can't think of Demu and not think of um, when they were kind of spoofed in Metalocalypse, and I always want to call him Burger.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, because that was the place that they worked at.
Mm-hmm.
So that's forever burned into my brain, and I cannot. I have to like think about how to pronounce their name.
Poor Dimmu. Yeah, I feel like it's a record that's kind of stuck in time. Um,
Yeah,
these dudes
quite
were
samey.
well, I mean, they were huge when they were huge, but that's been a long time ago. And I
Yeah.
think, it kind of just goes into something I was saying last week with, Tool and A Perfect Circle. Like, if you're stuck in that moment in time, man, what we were talking about with Core 10, then other people will move the genre forward for you.
Yeah,
It
and you'll be
doesn't,
left behind.
yeah, it doesn't matter if you were, the biggest, the best, the baddest, whatever. There are other people who will come in and push that sound forward, inevitably. And I think the thing that you can do as a musician who's still making that kind of music is plug in and try to kind of push your boundaries and incorporate different things from you know these other forward thinkers,
Hmm.
or you can be content to make what you're making and
Keep
accept the
playing to the
fact
same
that
audience,
right, you're gonna have the same audience forever.
and you're gonna get shit on for not evolving,
Right. I
because
mean,
that's just the market these days.
well, you'll get shit on for evolving too. I don't think you can
Well, that yeah, true.
understand that there's no winning with anyone on the internet.
Yeah,
So if you're gonna do anything cool, you're gonna have a
that's true.
bunch of people who are like, "Oh, fuck you," and if you do something that's not cool, they'll be like, "Well, fuck you," and only you truly know if you deserve it.
Right. Yeah, I think like a lot of it's the damned if you do and damned if you don't thing. Uh, Certainly. I mean, I looked at a lot of the comments and reviews for the Contortionist and Clairvoyant, and a lot of people were like, "Damn, I was really hoping you'd go back to Exoplanet, go back to the heavier stuff," and instead they kept going further with, the more quiet, focused, uh, sections like from Language,
Right.
and people just didn't like it, and they'd have gotten shit on if they went back to Exoplanet for selling out and going back to that, and they certainly got shit on for changing and actually staying the course with the new direction.
Right. I mean, I think what it comes down to is just, you know, if you are a musician and you want to, move forward, then do it. If you don't, then, there's other risks that you
Hmm.
inherit. And I think Dimmu, no matter what, they have their audience. They will
Right.
always have their audience. So I don't think
Hmm.
it really matters. But, for someone like me who has listened to a lot of Septic Flesh in between that record and this one. I'm like, look, I got to tell you guys, there's other people who are doing this now.
They're doing it better.
Hmm. I mean, like Codex Omega is a beast, and then you listen to Dimmu, and it's like, okay, there's other stuff. There's other stuff. So that's kind of where I stand on it. I'm trying to think of, yeah, I don't know what else. I don't know. You haven't
Yeah, I think
really
I
checked
listened
it
to this
out though, huh?
before. The Demu, no, I fell off of them. Like I said, I hit pretty big with Puritanical, whatever the hell it else it was.
Misanthropia.
Yeah, that one. Pretty big on that album. A friend of mine gave it to me in school and kind of jammed out to that for a good bit. And after that, just kind of gave up on them. Nothing else quite caught my attention.
Wise man.
Yeah.
I mean, Death Called Armageddon is cool. Puritanical Misanthropia is good. I'm not taking anything away from those records.
No.
But I mean, look, to give you an example of two other bands who have done this and pushed themselves in completely different directions, Opeth and Enslaved, um, you know, both started out as death metal and black metal.
Mhm.
Enslaved was bleh, black metal and blackened death metal, and Opeth was just more along the lines of straight up, black death metal.
Yeah.
Um, and now, Opeth is just a straight up prog rock band.
Yeah.
They don't even play metal anymore, like at all, like at all. And Enslaved is very, very proggy, and they play, you know, a lot of like 10-minute songs and
Yeah.
songs with a lot of breathing room and cool bridges that kind of play the same part for a couple of minutes but a little bit different, and just it's really cool, and it goes a lot of places and is really introspective, but then they still have those sick like death metal chops and growls in there. So
Hmm.
there's some good shit going on with Enslaved, but both of those bands completely committed to doing that.
Oh yeah.
Like
I just popped into Sorceress by Opeth. I just picked a random song and hit go and just skipped to like the middle of the track, and it's the song Chrysalis. Um, and definitely getting a proggy feel to it, and also kind of getting a bit of a power metal feel to it.
I mean, it is without a doubt Michael Ockerfelt kind of sitting for a few months, with some old Deep Purple vinyls, some old King Crimson vinyls,
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff, and just being like, "Fucking a, what if we just
Yeah.
wrote shit like this?" And in a lot of ways, there's the person like inside of me that's like, I really want a death metal record from Opeth again. But
Mhm.
then there's that other part of me that understand that's probably not what Opeth wants. They want to make that. And whether or not I dig it, that's what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, you know, truth be told, with how fucking dumb I am, I haven't really gone to see them live since they kind of switched to playing mostly those songs, because I'm just not that interested in seeing that kind of music live. But, you know, it is what it is, and I respect the
Yep.
hell out of them for committing to it.
Yeah, they're still out there making stuff. It's just good. You know.
Yeah, and they still sell the fuck out of their shows, so more
Oh, I bet.
power. Yep. But I guess that takes us to the to the feature of features. It is the whole fucking reason that anybody even tunes in now, or will be. So last week we started this every Thursday because that's when we do the show. We're gonna do a
Yep.
Throwback Thursday, and it's gonna be greatest records from blah 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 blah. And the theme for the month of May is Mallcore May. So we're gonna pick the greatest records from the Mallcore era, which we have determined was between the year 2000 and the year 2005, 2006, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Now, another thing is I'm dumb and didn't realize that last week we were doubling up on years. So I should have been looking at 2000 and 2001, but instead I just went with 2000. But I'm still okay with my choice because I'm pretty sure I went with Tulsa and locked in LD50
Oh yeah.
by Mudvayne, and that was our choice for the Mallcore hit of 2000 and 2001, I guess.
This is
I
gonna be a tough one
fucking
for me.
guess. So this week, it's 2002, right? And
Yeah.
2003, which I don't know if that still makes sense. I think maybe the last 2 weeks we'll actually do one single year. There might be enough. We'll see.
Yeah.
We might do the last one that might be the one single year. But for this week, 2002, 2003. Let's go to the old Google. Let's look at the years in heavy music, and let's fucking figure out what was going on in 2002.
I'm torn on the best for 2002.
Let
Two
me
really
see.
good albums dropped that year.
Okay, well, remember, the qualification is it has to be shitty mallcore, or not shitty, but it has to be mallcore. So it has to be stuff
Stuff you'd find in Hot Topic.
that you'd find in Hot Topic. That was the qualifier. Um, okay, now here's the thing. Is System of a Down mallcore?
I don't know, and that's one of the reasons why I'm like, this is gonna be tough.
Man,
System of a Down is a band without or a man without an island. They do not have a classification for genre.
I wrestled a bear once. They are later era mallcore.
Oh, they came out. What was that in 2002 for them?
Nothing. They like I said, they're later era mallcore. Oh, OTEP.
Eh.
Yeah, that's definitely
Never.
mallcore. Norma Jean, that's a mallcore ass mallcore right there. You
Yeah.
could buy your Norma Jean outfit in fucking Hot Topic. Get your chain wallet, get your cut off jean shorts, get your fucking, like your tank top and your, like, just all your shit, dude. Right there. The
2002 was a damn good year
scene
for new metal.
kid outfit right there, dude.
Yeah. You got fucking Untouchables from Korn. You
Oh,
got
okay.
you
Alright.
got Linkin Park coming out with the Reanimation album.
I feel like I gypped
It's just
myself by not doing the 2001. I'm dumb. So I might do an
System of a
honorable
Down.
mention.
Yeah.
Steal This
System of a Down
Album's not
steals
that
album.
good.
Oh, I love that album.
I'm just gonna say it. I don't think it's that good. So that's
Everything.
definitely not gonna be mine at all.
You got Perseverance by Hatebreed.
Lacuna
Um,
Coil.
The End of All Things That Come by Mudvayne. That's a great album.
That's a mallcore ass album right there.
Yeah, that is. Um, Not necessarily mallcore, but maybe later on once they hit it big. But Trapped put out their self-title in 2002.
No, they were mallcore.
Okay.
Did
Well,
they
I'm not
put
sure
out their
about. I'm not sure.
self-title?
Yeah, it's 2002. I don't know if they really caught on to like 2003 though.
Let's see. Yeah,
That fucking
Crazy Town.
Headstrong.
Yeah, that was 2002. Stupid butterfly. Is that
Yeah.
even that album? No, I don't think it is. I think that's the one after their huge one. Acacia Strain
There's a name I haven't heard in years.
and Atreyu. That's some mallcore shit right there.
Oh yeah, Trey's pretty.
And let's see what was going on in 2003. All right, 2003 in heavy metal music.
That's the Palaces Burn, Lamb of God.
Oh,
Yeah.
but they're not. I don't know that they're mallcore.
Here we go. Saint Anger, 2003.
Yikes.
That was a
That's
heavy ass, like Hot Topic album.
Dimmu Borgir with
Got that
Death Cult
goddamn fish
Armageddon.
shirt.
Enslaved with Below the Lights. That's not a mallcore album, but damn, that's a good one, man.
Avenged
That's a
Sevenfold
really good record.
is like probably one of the most mallcore bands.
No, I already know. I already know which one is gonna be mine. I already know.
What?
Impossibility of Reason by Chimera.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
only are they mallcore, but that is a legitimately badass record. Their lyrics are dumb as shit, But Impossibility of Reason is
It's
that's a
so good.
slammer. Yeah, that's a slammer right there.
It's a tough 2 years.
I think that's gonna be my pick. I didn't realize that Take a Look in the Mirror was literally the next year for Korn.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I dropped off of them after Untouchables.
they literally
That's
put out an album the next year. Wow.
that's hands down like 2002's best for me.
Hmm. Alien Ant Farm.
There you go.
Eh. Nah, I'm gonna lock mine in. Um, with I'm gonna go with. Oh, you know what? I don't know. This is another thing that we had a discussion about last week. Deftones is not Mallcore, right? Because they were just by that point they were huge.
Yeah, they were pretty
They
huge.
were everywhere. So they were all core. Like just they were because they were in all the stores, and they're one of those bands that I feel like they kind of get this weird like hall pass with everyone who likes heavy music. It doesn't matter if you're into death metal, heavy metal,
Dude,
just
Deftones
hard
fits
rock.
for everybody.
Deftones is just fucking awesome, dude. I love Deftones, and all of their records are great. They're all
Yes.
fucking great. I don't even give a shit what anybody says about Gore. They're stupid. That album's really
Uh,
good.
that might be my one exception. I'm not huge on that one.
It's really good. It's just they're all different. They're all just different things. If I had to pick what is probably like the best record of that year, it's a tie between three things: Catatonia,
Jeez.
um, Enslaved, and Black Dahlia Murder.
Yeah.
Unhallowed, Unhallowed came out that year, and it is rough in some places, but fucking hell, dude, it is. There's some straight up serious ambition in there. And honorable mention: A Death Called Armageddon by Dimmu, because that's an epic one.
Yeah.
Damnation came out that year too. That's actually a really good year for heavy music. Damnation's really good. As the Palaces Burn is really good.
Uh huh.
Um, yeah, that's a good year for heavy music. But the mallcore, my mallcore pick is gonna be Chimera.
For 2003.
Impossibility of Reason. Yeah, 2003.
What
There's
about
some
2002?
for 2002. This is tough, man. Fucking, there's some real there's some real garbage in here still. You can see where 2003 it was starting to get thinned out. Some of these dudes were falling off. But man, 2002 is still there's still a lot of like you got some soil work in here. You got Papa Roach. You got
Yeah.
yeah, dude. You got some crazy town. Like Crazy Town is still putting out records in 2002. Fuck man.
That's about the time I became aware of those guys. That fucking butterfly song.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I know. Just no. I just fucking can't, dude.
Worst single of the 2000s.
I mean, there's no disputing the fucking like untouchable power that is Deftones Aural Assault. They are fucking
Mhm.
amazing. We all know that. But what we're trying to establish is that Deftones is actually above being classified as mallcore.
They've
Because
transcended classification.
yeah, I feel like just because they were in Hot Topic doesn't make them a Hot Topic band like some of these other bands. But maybe that's just me in Tulsa having a giant blind spot to Deftones and not just letting them like be stand on fair equal ground with all these other dudes. But I mean, even if it were the other way, like that would be it. It'd be like, well, Deftones is probably the mallcore pick. But I don't think they're mallcore. I think they were
No.
too big by that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they were, legitimately, a huge kind of mainstream band at that point. So, Wonder What's Next came out in 2002 by Chevelle.
Yeah, I was just looking at that one too. I don't think that's Mallcore though. That's just hard rock.
Again, we
And I don't
talked
know.
about them last week.
Yeah.
That's some good ass driving music right there.
Oh, 100%.
Just
And they
just
put
throw
on
that
an
on and
incredible live show.
yeah, they do. I saw them live and I tapped Pete Lofier's shoe and then he literally said in the microphone, "Hey, stop." And I was like, "Yay!" It
Recognition.
was a long time ago. Uh,
All
man,
right.
2002 is tough for me. You pick first, and I'll go after
Best
you.
best for 2002 is probably gonna stick with Untouchables by Korn. With with the end of all things to come a strong second. Because that's just a fucking killer album from beginning to end. Uh, 2003. Let's see. Mm,
Scrying is a really good song.
yeah, it is. That whole album's just great from beginning to end.
I feel like okay, and this might just be me like having a chip on my shoulder. I was just mad that it wasn't as good as LD50.
Yeah.
LD50 is just so fucking crazy and out there. And then they never did like, and then after that they did whatever it was that came after the beginning of the end of all things or whatever the end of all things to come. The beginning of the end of the time that I fucking remembered what the album was called. They did the one after that, and then they did Lost and Found,
Yeah, that was not great.
and then I was just like, I really wish that they would go back to how good the end of all things to come was. Man, that was. So I feel like the more you look back on their like back catalog, the better and better that album looks. So I'm inclined to say that one, just because it's got a little bit more going on, like from a
I
technical metal perspective.
don't know what I'd pick for 2003.
I'm sticking with Chimera.
Yeah, I'll mirror you on that
You
one.
know what? Nah, dude, the fucking Mallcore album of 2002, 1010% is Norma Jean, Bless the Martyr, and Kiss the Child. Because Norma
Yeah.
Jean is the most mallcore ass mallcore band that has ever been in the mall, like of all time. Not only are all of their like did they get their start basically with Scene Kids like crazy,
Yeah.
but the Scene Kid outfit was sold like pretty much exclusively at fucking Hot Topic. So I'm actually gonna change my pick from Mudvayne
You're a
to Norma Jean, Bless the Martyr,
bit of a paint by numbers.
Kiss the Scene. Yeah, dude. Bless the Martyr and
Paint by
Kiss the
numbers scene
Child.
kid. You get
Yeah,
the clothes, you get the shit to blow your hair out, you get the makeup.
I mean, all you have to really do to make yourself 1 million times more into Norma Jean is remember this formula. A bunch of chuggy breakdowns plus Memphis is burning equals Norma Jean.
Yeah.
So
Bam.
there you go. That's my fucking pick. Now the worst
Oh
for
boy.
2002. That's not gonna be hard for me. It's fucking Papa Roach, dude.
Yeah. It's
You
not a great album.
you know that it is not just the music that I have issue with this band. I have long documented in many a call and in many a rant in our Metal Wolf channel what my issue is with Papa Roach, and I just fucking really don't like the fact that they have been like 5 million different bands. They just have like all these different sounds. They always try to fit in with a different thing, and then like Jacoby Shaddix gets like tattoos from like head to toe, where he looked just like a regular ass new metal guy when they first came out, and now he's trying to look like the singer from fucking Bring Me the Horizon, and it's just like,
Yeah.
look, I don't I don't like what you're doing here. I don't approve. So I'm gonna say the worst for 2002 is Papa Roach without a fucking shadow of a doubt. And then if I'm gonna say like what's my favorite records from 2002 in general, well, of course it's gonna be Opeth and Protest the Hero,
Hmm.
and there's a good Soulfly record that came out around then. I don't care what anybody thinks. And In Flames, Reroute to Remain. God, they were still good back then, dude.
So think I may have found the worst for 2003.
Mm.
Fallen by Evanescence.
God, man, that just feels like we're shooting into a barrel full of like
that
disabled fish.
that album
It's fucked up, man.
strikes a really bad chord and reminds me a lot of middle school.
I mean, if that's the year that came out, then fuck, dude. That's not even fair to everyone else who was trying to be terrible that year. They're just like, I thought we
I
were gonna be
was
the worst band this year, and fuck, they sure took the cake.
2003. I think it's probably ninth grade, maybe.
Also tied for most karaoke song of all fucking time, dude.
Yeah.
I just always like want to die whenever I'm like somewhere and there's karaoke going on and someone picks that song, and you hear the first like opening like little
That just
bit
that
of
that three
music.
notes.
Yeah, the first like little three notes, the din it, and you're like, oh no.
I am not typing that into YouTube on a normal search. That's fucking incognito right there.
Good man.
I got enough dumb stuff showing up in my recommendations now
Good
after
lord.
doing this for 2 weeks.
So what's your honorable mention for worst of 2003?
Evanescence gets my worst and an honorable mention for second worst for being
No.
that fucking horrible.
All right. So they get two.
Yeah, they get two.
There you go. I think
With,
I'm gonna do.
with a third honorable mention to oh, that's 2002 stuff. Whoops.
No, my honorable mention is gonna go to Limp Bizkit.
Mm-hmm. Results
For
may vary.
results may vary. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the record without Wes Borland, and
Oh, really? Okay. That's what's missing from that album.
I'm pretty sure if it's not, maybe it was the next one after it. Let me see. I may not be telling the truth. Yep. Yeah.
Yep, not
Yeah,
there anymore.
the guitarist on that record is Mike Smith, and Mike Smith is not Wes Borland, and you can really tell. Holy shit! And the other thing is, while we're fucking talking Wes Borland, if you guys ever want to fuck yourselves up, go and listen to the record he put out last year under the name of his other band, Big Dumb Face.
Jesus Christ.
Tulsa's not a fan. Listen,
It's
I
the dumbest thing
N-
you'll ever
no,
listen to.
no, don't listen to this man. It is the greatest thing you'll ever listen to in your life. Okay? Just go and do yourself a favor after this podcast and listen to Big Dumb Face. I don't even fucking know what you would call that music. It's the
Dumb.
weirdest, sure. It's the weirdest mix of like death metal and prog and fucking country. It's fucking goofy as shit, dude. And I love every weird ass second of it. But here's my point with all of that. If you listen to that record, you'll be like, that's the guy who was the most responsible for why Limp Bizkit sounded the way that they did, and you'll understand why there was like this like really solid foundation of creativity behind them, and it was because this fucking psychopath was in that band. God bless Wes Borland. And on that note, I guess that's like the fucking wormed moment for this week, because Big Dumb Face is kind of the wormed
Yeah.
of
It's
whatever that.
impossible to hear or to understand what's being said, mostly because it's just so fucking loud and there's just noise.
He also has this filter that he uses on purpose a lot to make him sound like a fucked up drunk demon. So there's like a shit ton of songs where he just sounds like this. And if you go in there, burn every church down. It's like, what the fuck is going?
Yeah, I threw a link for that in the chat.
Yeah,
If
it's
you feel like listening to something real dumb for a couple minutes.
it's a wild ride, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that's gonna do it. We ran a little bit over because we were a little bit late. So there you go. You lose a
That'll
little,
happen.
you get a little. It's kind of like going bald and then growing hair on your butt.
Sure.
Yep. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week at the same exact time, the same exact place to talk a bunch of dumb metal douchebag shit.
Give or take a couple minutes.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, guys. For
There's
myself,
links in
Mr.
this.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Tulsa, do the actual proper outro. I'll shut the fuck up a minute.
There's a link in the chat on Twitch for the MechaWolf Discord. You can also find us on Twitter at the Tolsonator and at Rage of the Mage, myself and Stevo, respectively. Yeah, come out
And
next
then
week.
you can
Tell
follow
your
our main
friends.
account at Mecha Wolfpack.
Yes, that
That's,
too.
yeah. So, yeah, we will be here next week, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, from myself, Mr. Steve Tom Sawyer, and Mr. Tulso. Thank you so much for fucking hanging out. We will check you guys next time.
Take it easy.
See ya.